demonstrate how to do your postcard to design it in Adobe Illustrator. First thing you want to do is go under the Graphic Arts 1 server, under your name, under your period, and make a new folder. You can right click or go under the cogwheel on the top, make a new folder, and you're going to call it postcard. You're going to save everything under postcard. Next, we're going to download an image from Schools Clipart. So you're going to go to Safari. On your favorites bar, there should be Clipart, Schools Clipart. You're going to log in. It's Wave 1 through 10, all lowercase. So I'm going to put Wave 3, and the password's green. For this one, we're going to look for a vector image. So a vector image is an EPS. So I just want to make sure it's color and EPS. I don't want anything else selected. And depending on what you're looking for, depends on what you're going to do for your design. I like to do, are you puzzled about what to take for next year? So I'm going to do a puzzle and see what comes up. I just want a puzzle piece. So I'm going to go through and scroll until I find one that I like. And it might take a few minutes. Alright, so I kind of like this puzzles, and I might just take off the colors I don't want. So I'm going to click on the puzzle piece, and I want to download the EPS, Encapsulated PostScript. And then I'll take that EPS from the Downloads folder, and I'll drag it into my folder and postcard. So now I have my EPS in there. Since we're doing this in Illustrator, your next step is going to open up Adobe Illustrator. You're going to always go under File and New whenever you open up any Adobe programs. So I'm going to go File, as soon as it lets me, New. Your postcard can be either 4 1/4 by 6 inches or 6 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to first start by putting on postcard up here. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to put postcard up there. I'm going to put in the dimensions. So it's 6 by 4 1/4. So I want mine to be landscape, not portrait. And you need to add in a bleed. You should have 1/8 of an inch all the way around. This way the color goes off the edge. So I'm going to do 0.125. 0.125. That is 1/8 of an inch. 1 divided by 8. And 0.125. I hit this link button, they change all at the same kind. Then I'm going to hit OK. The red line is what you're going to go to your box design, that is the bleed. And the black line is what you're going to put all your design into. For the front of your postcard, you have to have type, but we're going to put the type in Adobe InDesign, not in Adobe Illustrator. Right now, all we're doing is the background. So first of all, I'm going to click on the rectangle frame tool, and I'm going to go from red line to red line. And then I'm going to fill, I don't need a stroke, so I'm going to take the stroke off my box, and I'm going to fill my box with a color. I'm going to do the males first, so maybe I would like a blue. You can also use a gradient. I would avoid using patterns. You don't want anything too distracting. Next, I'm going to go File, Open. I'm going to open up that EPS I just downloaded from Schools Clipart. You can either do it open and find it on the desktop, Graphic Arts 1, under your folder, under Postcard, and we'll open up. Now the nice thing with these, when you open them up, you can edit them. So I can just pick on the different puzzle piece I want. Maybe I just want a green one. So I'm going to do Copy, Command C. You can either do that or you can drag it into your postcard. Command V, paste it. And there is my puzzle piece. I'm going to scale it down by holding the Shift key. And using the rotation tool, I might rotate it. I want to make sure it's within the black lines. I don't want to go to the red lines. And for this one, I'm actually going to make it into drop shadow for it. So instead of it being the gradient, I'm going to put black. This way it pops a little bit more. Add a black stroke to it. So this is the male front of the postcard. So you need to make sure when you save this, you're going to save it exactly as this name. Under postcard, let's go period 1, my name, postcard, everything lowercase. So I want to do mail 1, and I want it to be an EPS. So it's got to be .aps, all lowercase, the number 1, and save. So that is my male front of the postcard. To revise it for the female, all you have to do is change the colors. So I might click on the blue and change that to a red, which means I really want to change this gradient in here. I don't really like the green gradient for with the red. It looks too Christmassy. So I'm going to open Swatch Library, go to gradients, and we'll see what a different gradient color I can use. Yellow works good. So red and yellow for the girl. And then I'm going to save as, I just put FE. That's female. So that is the back or the front of the postcard. For the back of the postcard, you have to look at the postcard regulations. There are certain areas that you cannot print in. So on the second page, there's guidelines. So in the corner, I have to leave it open 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. I cannot print. So I'm going to use the rectangle frame tool. I'm going to Option and click on the keyboard, and that gives me my dimensions. So I can do 1 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inch. This time I don't want any stroke, but I want it to fill with white. And then I'm going to move that right here to the corner. Again, I have the mailing address and the barcode on the bottom. Barcode has to be the 5/8 inch high. So 5 divided by 8, use the calculator, 5 divided by 8 is the decimal equivalent. It has to be 0.625. So I want to make my box, Option click, it needs to be 6 inches wide by 0.625. And that goes on the bottom for the barcode. And the next one is your mailing address. It has to be, another Option click with your mouse, 2 3/4, so 2.75 by 2.75. And hit return. And that has to go right over there. Now, you do have to bring it out to the bleed. That just shows you the dimensions. So all you have to do is drag it all the way out to the bleed area. So it is white all the way. So that's all I'm doing is making it bigger. Now this one I'm going to call female 2. So you go File, Save As, change the 1 to 2. Now you can redraw all those boxes if you like, but what I'm going to do is you can use a solid arrow and select the boxes. So I selected the bottom one, and I'm holding the Shift key so I can select the other 2. I'm going to copy it, Command C, and then I go under File, Open Recent. I'm going to open the male one. And then all I have to do is paste it in, Command V. Saves in the same spot. Go File, Save As, and call it Male 2. And save. And that is it for designing your background art for your postcard.